What's going on, guys? Hope you all are doing well. I know that I am. So, even though it is early, it is very early in the morning. It's 3:38 Eastern Standard Time. I decided to. I was just up, doing a little bit of back testing, and I figured that I would live stream the back testing, and also allow you guys to drop any and all pairs that you guys would possibly want me to analyze with my new liquidity strategy. Now, this new trading strategy isn't necessarily going to um, it isn't necessarily going to produce as much return on investment as my current day trading strategy, and my current higher time frame trading strategy in general. So it's not going to produce more return on investment, but it's going to give those of you who want a more consistent but straightforward trading style, that has very little moving parts, um, that will return about to I would say 5 to 10% on average, right, somewhere within that range, per trade, and it's really stress free as well, right? I will be personally using it on the lower time frames for equities, right? So for NAS 100, SPX, or S&P E-mini futures, the Dow, also known as US 30. That's pretty much what I'll be using it for. It works well on gold, but gold highly manipulated. Um, is a highly manipulated market, so yeah, that's a conversation for a different day. Anyways, it does work well with the foreign exchange market also, right? So essentially, I'm going to be backtesting GBP JPY. If you guys do have type of any type of currency pair or asset in general that you want me to possibly analyze, feel free to go ahead and drop it, um, and I got you guys covered, right? Give me 1 second. Let me turn the chat on for everyone. Give me 1 second, guys. Um, Hold on, guys, while I figure out how to actually turn on the chat for you all. Let's see. Stream. Okay. Not quite sure how to actually turn the chat on. Man. Okay, anyways, we're just gonna hop right into it. So we're gonna do GBP JPY right now. Um, but how about maybe tomorrow when we do the London live? Then I'll let you guys choose the pair that we do, for tomorrow's live stream. We'll do it like that, right? So I can have we can do commentary, or we can just play a little bit of music and just mark up the charts. Um, maybe we'll do a little bit of both. So maybe we'll start out with a little bit of commentary, and then as we get into like the lower time frames and things like that, then we kind of switch and just play maybe a little bit of music. So let me tell you guys why this really came about. So this really came about because I definitely want to start to get into trading equities, right? So I really just decided to focus on more so liquidity than supply and demand, because when it comes to equities, yes, supply and demand I'm sure does have a factor to a certain extent, but it's really liquidity that is seek, then reaction, then reversal, then expansion, then continuation, right? That's really what happens. So when it comes to, you know, um, when it comes to liquidity and things like that, right? That's really what I'm focused on when it comes to the equities market. Now, a lot of you guys know I used to trade fair value gaps, right? I have a little bit of fair value gap content. If you go to my previous earlier content within my YouTube channel, like maybe a year ago, right? You'll see me talk about fair value gaps, things like that. And that was also really based more so around liquidity. Like if you guys remember, when I first started trading this style, my current style, where I have mixed together more than one confluence, the first main confluence that I used to be focused on was liquidity, right? That was at first, and I was also trading imbalances with that liquidity. Then it kind of graduated more so towards supply and demand, which it currently, supply and demand is currently what I pay attention to the most. But when it comes to equities and things like that, I'm going to be transitioning to focusing more so back towards liquidity and imbalances like we used to do. So here we can see that we have buy side liquidity here. All right. Price sweeps that buy side liquidity, and then we have sell side liquidity down here. Now, anytime, well, we're not going to get into any teaching. We're just going to get right into it. I have to remind myself sometimes that we are on YouTube. So with this strategy, there are actually, it's very versatile, right? Like you can, and excuse me guys, I'm a little stuffy. I was outside today and I have allergies, and man, let me tell you, I was sneezing all day long. So you guys may hear me sniff a little bit, things like that. Just bear with me, much appreciated. So with this strategy, it's very versatile, right? You can pretty much use it with any time frame that you want. It really just depends on you. You can refine, you don't have to. Um, but the rules don't change. It's a mechanical style of trading liquidity, right? Very, very straightforward. So if you wanted to just trade the H1 time frame, okay, entry would be around this area, stop. And this is also more of a, I would say, when you're applying this to the higher time frame, this is more of a swing trading type of strategy, right? This is where if you do want to swing trade and you want to trade liquidity as well, this is definitely going to pull out some major profits for you. Um, if you want to swing trade, right? But you can really apply this to any time frame. So you can intraday trade, you can day trade with this strategy. But if you swing trade, that's going to be something for sure. All right, so stops would go somewhere above this area here. I'm not going to get into specifics once again because I don't want to do too much teaching. This is really going to be saved. The specifics and the rules for this strategy is really going to be saved for my mentorship students. So stop would go somewhere above this high. Like I said, I'm not going to get into specifics, so I'm not going to tell you guys how to select which high to put the stop above, right? And then, of course, you would just target sell side liquidity, which is already here. It's not bad. So let's drop down to the M15 time frame. Very beautiful. So for those of you that say you wish I used the replay tool more on YouTube, here you go. That's very good. Oh, actually, I'm not going to place stop loss because then I'd have to explain why I'm going to place it there, and yeah, we don't want to do that. I don't want to do too much teaching. Anyways, another opportunity here, solid. Very solid. Let's go to, okay, I'm seeing another setup here. And the rules are very, very straightforward. If I had to count the rules, let's see. Three rules on one time frame. It's very straightforward, and it's binary, so they're mechanical. So it's either yes or no. So you either have a yes or no for rule 1. If yes, then you move on to the second rule. Yes or no for rule 2. If yes, then you move on to the third rule, which the third rule is the entry. So it's very, very, so I'm very excited to teach it to the mentorship students. And those of you who have access to my advanced course, I'm debating whether or not I should create an entirely new course. It is a part of liquidity, which is within the institutional course that's currently that you currently gain access to being a student of the academy. However, I may put it into its own course because I do things a little differently where I'm at in my trading career now. So stay tuned for that. We'll see what happens. But let's go ahead and break this down here. Oh, that's beautiful. All right, just following the mechanical rules. That's it. Entry would be here. Target would be sell side liquidity, which is here. Within session, that would have been a beautiful trade. We can see target was hit. Next, we will look at New York session, which is here. It's not really playing off of much, but we do see this here. So we have consecutive breaks of structure to the upside. We have 3 drives to the upside. We have 1, 2, and then 3. Right now, each time we have a drive into this here, if we go to the M15 time frame, this isn't quite a strong high, okay, per se, because this push to the downside was not responsible for taking out any lows or anything like that. If anything, this is a strong low, and we'd be anticipating this higher low here to possibly be strong. We can see that it wasn't. Price pushed to the downside. However, we're not really looking to trade off of this supply here because this supply here is weak, right? And that is why the liquidity trading strategy also comes into play, right? It also assists you within that area because at times, for example, this New York session here, price is trading inside of weak supply here, right? However, with us applying the liquidity trading strategy, there are ways around that. Right, so we can see this is the high, so we have this as the sweep here. Price essentially sweeps this buy side liquidity. Then we have this here sell side liquidity on the M1. And like, guys, when you guys get your hands on the rules, it happens every day, all day. Literally. If you can find a week within a currency pair where my trading plan does not produce positive results, I will give you your, you know what, that's going to be fantastic. We'll do that. Whoever buys, let's see, when I release the trading plan, I don't know if it's going to be a PDF file, if it's going to be an actual course, if I'm going to do a masterclass, I might do all 3. But once you purchase access to my trading plan and to this information dealing with my new liquidity trading strategy, right, that my mentorship students are going to get their hands on first, when you gain access to that, I will give you a refund if you are not able to apply the mechanical rules exactly how they're supposed to be applied, and if you find a week where you're not able to produce positive results. That's a big one. That's a really big one. Let me think about that, actually. Someone might actually find it. Because nothing is ever, nothing is ever guaranteed within the market. But I don't know. We'll do something. All right, so this one, I'm going to show you guys where I would set the stop. I'm going to round up. Here we go. And we're going to show the target for this one. Just because. So we have this sell side liquidity here based on the M15, right? But where is our overall sell side liquidity? Based on this entire down move here. Well, it's going to be here. So 13.14%. See, like these are the types of trades you're going to be producing. Now, of course, with my current trading style and my current trading plan, right, that all mentorship students have access to, that trading plan does produce a little bit higher return on investment, I will say, right? It's just a little bit more tedious and it takes more skill, right, in order to really dissect the charts how I do. Um, and it's very easy, but it just takes a little bit of experience. You have to train your brain to see it, right, to see the pattern. So that's going to be up to you guys, right? But I will start to incorporate live streams where we do start to break down pairs. This works with GBP AUD because, as you guys know, my current trading style and trading plan it excels with major USD pairs. That's where it pretty much excels, right? The liquidity trading strategy pretty much excels with any and every pair because any and every pair, the only way for that pair or asset to move is liquidity, right? So that is definitely where this strategy comes into play. It even works on cryptocurrency, right? Now, your risk is going to be large, a little larger, or your stop loss size. Your risk can still be the same, but your stop loss size is going to be a little larger when it comes to crypto. So your return on investment may be a little smaller, but it still works all the same. Anyways, so this is another trade. So far, we've gone over, let's see, so how many days? So it's been about 23 hours, and we've had one setup here on the H1 time frame, two setups on the M15, and this setup here was on the M2 time frame here. Or excuse me, one setup on the M15, two setups on the lower time frame. This was on the M2. Last trade we just went over, produced 13.14%. Now, some of you guys are DMing me right now and asking me what is the exact trading plan. So the I'm going to save that for my mentorship students. Right now we're just back testing, and I'm showing you guys what types of results the trading plan essentially produces. But I'm going to save the actual rules and stuff like that for my students first, and then I'm going to break it down within a course for you guys so you guys can take advantage. So let's go back to the H4 and let's look for the next setup. So the next setup is going to be within this area here, right? Just based on the rules. I already have it marked up just a little bit already. So there we go. Let's just place that there. Solid, solid. Even this New York session here, here we have sell side liquidity here. Price just ran on that buy side liquidity. So let's see if it takes place here. And the thing about it also, the liquidity trading strategy, how it trains you to see the market is very, very different than my current trading style and my current trading plan, right? So it's going to be one of those things where you guys are going to have to probably choose one or the other that you like, right? But I would say at least get your hands on both of them, right? Because, I mean, no matter which way you go, you're going to be able to produce results. Last week, we produced over 15%. If you're part of the trading community, you were able to catch those trades. Congrats to you guys. We will start to drop liquidity trades within the trading community. So those of you guys who have access to my liquidity trading strategy, which I'm going to make it super inexpensive for you guys. It's not even going to be close to $100. But I will be dropping analysis for the liquidity trading strategy within the trading community. But I'm not going to drop how to enter and all of that, and the risk management and all of that. That's only going to be taught um, within the strategy guide or masterclass, or however I decide to do it. More than likely, it'll be a strategy guide and a masterclass, right? But if you have access to either the masterclass or the strategy guide, then you should be good to go. But yeah, so definitely stay tuned for that. However, the original trading style will still be used, for the trading community, right? So we will still be producing, you know, excellent results, right? You guys don't have to worry about that. Anyway, let's break this down right here. All right, seeing a possible setup based on the M15. Now let us see if we have an entry on the lower time frame. Perfect. Also, when you guys, I will be live streaming with me trading the liquidity strategy. I don't know when yet, but there will be a day where I am live streaming. And you guys will see I will have literally 4 charts up. It'll be the M1, the M2, the M5, and the M15. Sometimes the M5 is not on there, and then I'll have the H1. But usually I have multiple time frames up. I'm looking at all the time frames. As you guys are seeing me flip through the M5, the M2, the M1, that's essentially how it pretty much looks as well when I'm actually live trading. So I'm not going to live trade my supply and demand strategy, right? But I don't mind live trading my liquidity strategy. And remember, keep in mind this is GJ, so stops are going to be a little larger than usual when it comes to regular, currency pairs and things like that. So this would be the entry here. All right, and I'm applying this to more so in session day trading time frames, right? But this can easily be used on, the higher time frames in order to intraday trade, swing trade, or position trade, right? I'm just on the lower time frames, the M1, things like that, taking entries, simply because I'm pretty much going to be applying this to day trading on a daily basis when trading equities. So, if you're wondering. So just giving you guys a little bit of info and insight. So this trade here, as you can see, 7.56%. Oh, do we hit target? I'm sure we do. Because this is buy-side liquidity here. So we should, in theory, target sell-side liquidity based on what has taken place here. Solid. And we can see we hit sell-side liquidity literally to the T. And this is how accurate this is. So when it does come, down to selecting targets and things like that, I will have specific rules that are going to save you guys for things like this here, because because this is such a specific strategy, you will run into situations where price hits your entry to the T or hits your take profit to the T. Well, usually not entry. Usually entry we're pretty much good, but when it comes to the target, targeting buy and sell side liquidity, sometimes price will literally just barely tap you in and then jump out. So we'll keep that in mind for sure. Anyways, so as you guys can see, very, very straightforward, risking 7.8 pips here for about 59 pips. With this strategy as well, you guys know I usually round up. Okay, with this strategy, we do stop loss a little different. Okay, but I'm not going to do too much teaching on the live stream. But yeah, I can't wait for you guys to join me when I actually live trade, you know, this strategy. It'll be very straightforward. You guys can choose to hop in the trades with me. You don't have to. We won't be trading equities live together, okay, but we will trade foreign exchange market live together. Maybe, and if not this week, then maybe sometime next week. I don't know. My schedule's kind of packed this week. Anyways, let's go back to the higher time frame and let's press play. All right. Oh, yeah, we forgot to look at this move here. So, another move. So, first move, second move, and we have a third move here. Well, we don't know if it's a move just yet, but it meets certain criteria on this time frame. So, essentially, we can check to see if it is an actual entry opportunity. But you guys can see, I mean, it happens back to back to back, over and over and over again. Okay, so solid. So what you guys are gonna see, it'll be like this here, right? And then I'll have the different time frames, you know, within these areas. And that's essentially how you guys are gonna see me, you know, trade this strategy. Let's go back to one layout. There we go. All right, once again, beautiful. Very, very straightforward. And it's really just based on the algorithm of price changing its delivery, right? So it's similar to supply and demand, but it's not quite. So I'll give you guys a little spill. So here is an order block, okay? An order block is not just one candle. An order block is a price range. It can be multiple candles, okay? A lot of people teach order blocks, incorrectly, right? This entire range here is the order block, right? This entire range. You can see that price literally taps into the beginning of this range right here, and then we have a nice rejection and a nice fall to the downside, right? We also have imbalance here, right? Right here within this area. We have a couple of other confluences dealing with the candlesticks that I'm not necessarily going to talk about because I've never really introduced the concepts before, and I like to introduce them to my mentorship students first. Anyways, yeah, there's a lot of small little things that if more traders had the knowledge, it would change the way they look at the markets and they'd be able to catch these banger trades very, very easily. Like these are the types of trades that this strategy is going to be the strategy that I'm going to use on YouTube live, calling out these trades for you guys. It's very, very straightforward. Now, of course, mentorship students will continue to use. Actually, mentorship students, we can use both really because there's a way to incorporate the liquidity entry method within our current trading plan. So students, I'm going to just turn you guys up even more than you guys already are. So just go to the M15. So once again, another entry. The target would be this sell side liquidity here. Beautiful. What is that? 7.63 ROI. 7.56 ROI. This trade here. Did we delete it? I think we deleted it. Let's go back to this one. Yes. Because I just want to show you guys the power of trading liquidity the way we trade it here at Mac Trading Academy. I just want to show you guys the power of it. And as you guys know, I really don't trade GBP, JPY that much. If you're a student of mine or if you've been trading with me for a while, I don't really trade this pair all too often. However, when it comes to trading this pair based around liquidity, it's fantastic. All JPY pairs are, right? Or I shouldn't say all, but I should say most. Most JPY pairs are excellent when it comes to liquidity trading. Whew. All right, let's go back to the M15. This is a little tedious, but it's all good. It'll be worth it so you guys can see the results. Hold on, did we do something different? Interesting, what happened? Oh, it was. It was based off the M2. I see it now. Okay, solid. Let's go back to the M15. And let's go ahead and exit out of replay mode. And okay. Anyways, so as you can see so far, we're 3 for 3 on GBP JPY. Pretty much just applying my liquidity trading strategy to the markets, to the charts. Very, very straightforward. And let's see if we have one more trade during our next session. Or let's see what's going on here. And then we'll move on to the next session as well during New York and see what's going on here as well, applying the same exact rules. So here we have sell-side liquidity. That was obviously targeted. Let's drop this down to maybe the M5 and see what's going on. Okay, yeah, right here within this area. So if I'm trading this based on supply and demand, this is an excellent area to utilize. But I'm not, so. This here as well, if we're trading supply and demand. However, we're not. We're trading liquidity. Okay. And the entry method for trading liquidity, oh my goodness, it's easy. The continuation methods, how you get into a trade if it's continuing to push to the downside or to the upside. It's so easy, guys. This would be another entry opportunity. Ooh, come on. There we go. Also, keep in mind, it is GJ, so. So at times, 22 pips is a lot of pips, to be honest with you, when it comes to a day trade. And that would be, each individual's discretion at that point, right? If the risk is, not within your, um, toleration level, that's okay, you know. However, these setups will continue to form for you. So let's go to the M15 now that we're within New York session, and let's see if our rules take place. And they do. Here, we have buy-side liquidity. And we're still expecting bearish continuations just based off of that higher time frame H4 change in momentum that we went over earlier within the session. We have sell-side liquidity, so we're going to be looking to target this sell-side liquidity only if we get an entry opportunity within this area here. When it comes to taking entries with this trading strategy, my favorite is going to be my favorite time frame to use, or like my go-to, is going to be the M2 time frame personally. Between the M2 and the M1, but as you guys will see, I have literally both of the time frames up when I'm trading like this. Absolutely beautiful. Entry here. 8.5. Right on the dot. Targeting sell side. Perfect. And you really could have extended this stop just a little bit above this high as well. Secondary option. But the algorithm of price does nothing on accident. And we can see that price ends up, playing out here. There we go. So within the matter of, last week, pretty much, you had plenty of opportunities. And this is not counting Asia session. As you guys can see, I don't trade Asia session. However, there are setups within Asia session that were successful that I'm seeing now. Right? I just don't trade Asia session. It just doesn't work with my schedule. Usually I'm doing one-on-one sessions with students. I do, however, sometimes take trades during Asia session if I'm analyzing a certain pair with students or the mentorship group, and like one-on-one sessions or the group sessions. And sometimes I will take entries if we're analyzing something and it lines up with our trading plan and strategy. But usually I don't touch Asia session. And that's just personal preference, which is why, you guys will see me live stream during Asia session most of the time, or, things like that. Right? So within a couple of days, right? Just back testing a couple of days. I don't want this live stream to be too long and bore you guys, but I just want to do a quick, back test of the new trading strategy and things like that you guys can expect from Mac Trading Academy. So we have 8.76, right? 7.56, and mind you guys, these are all taking place within London or New York session. right? Those are the types of trades that you guys can expect from us, right? You're not going to be, receiving trades and alerts, and you're not going to have a trading plan where you're taking trades crazy hours and things like that. No, you can choose to, especially with the liquidity trading strategy, you're either going to be able to trade both sessions, or you're going to be able to find a very, very good setup during whichever session you prefer. So if you don't want to trade both sessions, that's completely fine, right? As you guys can see, this day here, we had we're missing this setup here, guys. No one told me. Oh, well, the chat's not on. My apologies. We're missing this setup here. Let's go to the M1. Hold on, did we not have a setup here? Or, let's see. Oh, yes, we did. I knew it. All right, so we're going to do something like this. Is that the M2? I think it was the M2. It was the M2. And then we're going to place this here. Come on. Come on. There we go. And we're going to target our sell side liquidity, since this is all taking place buy side. And then we're going to turn off replay, because I don't feel like going through all of this. So this was the first trade that we went over. So I just forgot to activate it on this time frame. And there we go. Whoa, 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 whoa. So 10.7, and then we were all the way over here. Here, let's go back to the M15. M5. Better. So this was 10.7. And then let's add this here. 4.67. 38.62 return on investment. How many days? We'll just include the entire session for London. 2 days, essentially. London, New York, London, New York. Entries also take place London, 2 entries during New York, 1 entry during London, 1 entry during New York. You can trade this every single day, literally, right? And we're not even counting this trade here that took place during New York, or this trade right here that took place during London that still targeted sell side liquidity here, right? Now this trade here might have been a losing trade for you, right? Just depending on your risk management and things like that, and when you go risk free with your trade setup, right? Because we can see sell side liquidity was here. We end up hitting sell side liquidity, but we then, before we hit sell side liquidity, we target this buy side liquidity here. Right, so this may have been a minus 1% for you. But I just want you guys to see the power of the new trading strategy. I just finished about, let me see, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3. So like 5.5 hours of gathering data for US30, NAS, SPX, Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP as it relates to the new liquidity trading strategy. And I can definitely tell you guys, it's definitely going to be something. With that being said, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up here. I'm about to get some rest. Hope you guys are doing well. I will catch you guys in the next one. Hope you guys enjoyed this little backtesting session. 38.62% ROI applying the strategy for 3 or 2 days worth of London and New York sessions, right? Very straightforward. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Much love. Peace out.